So I'll be like, oh, I'm collecting your sperm cells. So now I'll just get into my YCS matchups. So first round I played Shadolls. The guy was from Arizona. He was pretty cool. Sadly, he 2-0'd me. Game 1, I didn't open scout, and he just opened really ridiculously good. Game 2, I had control. He kind of drew dead, and he finished the Shadoll game for a beast, and drew into system down. And system downed me, and then from there it was game over. So he 2-0'd me. So right there, I was ready. Like, oh man, I'm ready. X1, it sucks. It's not a good way to start out the day. So I was like, okay, just gotta take one game at a time. Round 2, I played against Fire Kings. The guy was really chill. 2-0'd him, and then yeah, swiftly just Fire Kings. And then round 3, I played against Stellarknight. This is where I made like the misplay of the day. Well, game 1, he beat me easily. Game 2, I beat him easily. Game 3, I had kind of control. He went set 5 go. And I went summon, attack, he deprisoned it. Next one I summoned, attacked, he like Phoenix chained it. So he just had, we just 1-for-1 his traps with my monsters. But then at one point at control, he had no more answers to my monsters attacking. And then I sacked my Helix for a Majesty's Fiend. And I popped the back row. I forgot the Majesty's Fiend negates everything. So I popped Call of Haunted. And then a couple turns later, when I was attacking for a game, he's like, wait, you couldn't activate Helix a long time ago. I'm like, oh crap. So like, it would be double game loss, I think, or I think I'll just get game loss. But I was like, okay, we just take it back. So let him get his Call of Haunted back. And then next turn he drew a monster. So he Call of Haunted back as one of his monsters. And then he summoned the monster and made a Carnagorgon. It was 2450. And then from there, I couldn't come back because I didn't have any monsters. So yeah, that was, I went 1-2, and then this big misplay. I could have won that game too. Round 4, I played Qliphort mirror match. Game 1, he killed me fast. Game 2, I killed him fast. Game 3, it was kind of back and forth. Then I outplayed him with one move. I let his scout go through, and then he played another pendulum, and I spell shattering. And then from there, I had advantage, and I won. So round 5, I sat down. My opponent asked me, "Oh, what'd you play?" I was like, "Oh, Qliphort. What'd you play?" And he said, "Oh, I got a bye." And in my mind, I was like, oh man, you got so lucky, you got a bye. As hard as matchup the round before, and this guy got a bye. I was like, oh. And then, so I opened, we rolled, and he went first. I'm like, oh, okay. If the guy's playing Qliphort, I lose, you know? And then he summons a Battling Boxer, and I'm like, the hell? What the hell? How'd you get up here? And then, so after I beat him, it was Battling Boxer, so I 2-0'd him fast. After I beat him, I asked him, what did you play against? And he's like, oh, round 1 I lost. And round 2, the guy came in late, so he got a game 1 loss, and then I beat him game 2. And I was like, oh, so you got like pretty much free wins up to round 5. So I was like, okay, whatever, free win. Round 6, I played Shadolls, Artifact Shadolls. I 2-0'd him. Game 1, he could have won, but he didn't know that my pendulum, my monsters come from the extra deck. So he didn't know that Shadoll Fusion he can Shadoll Fusion from his deck. So like when he got Shadoll Fusion with after I killed the construct, I'm like, oh man, I lost. But he just kept it in his hand, and he drew his at end. I'm like, oh, this guy doesn't know. He doesn't know. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna assume he doesn't know game 2 too, and just like go out and don't worry about Shadoll Fusion. And that's what happened. So it was swift 2-0. So round 7 came, and I played Tellers again. Game 1, I beat him so fast that he didn't even summon a monster. He just scooped it up before I knew what he was playing. Knowing this, I thought he was playing some kind of anti-meta deck. So knowing this, I took out my second cat, my Limb Removal, my Skill Drain, one Skill Drain, and a Vanities. And I put in like the Dust Tornadoes and Storm Force. Because also, this guy was playing on a Noble Knight mat, so I thought he was playing Noble Knights. So like, okay, I have no Storm Force for you. So we're all good. And then game 2, he starts off, he summons the Nav. I'm like, oh, I'm playing Tellers. Alright, it was kind of back and forth until I got Scout out, and then from there it was downhill for him, and I just proceeded to win. So at this point I'm 5-2, and I just need 2 more to get into day 2. And even so, if I make day 2, I might not even make top 32, but you know, just gotta think one game at a time. So round 8, I played a BA player. He was Chinese. He's really cool. Probably one of the coolest matches I played all day. I feel very bad about this. I kind of sharked him. Not really shark, but so he went Tour Guide, Detached Scarm, and then mill 3 end turn, and then I drew my card, summoned my card. He's like, oh crap, forgot Storm Scourge. Can I get a Storm Scourge? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I already summoned. Like, yeah, like I can't, you know. He's like, it's okay. And like in my head I was like, oh man, really bad, but at the same time like my hand's really bad. Like I need his misplay to be advantageous for me. So like also we're around 8 on both on the bubble, so like you know anything goes from here. You know, even though like that one moment happened, we still had a good time dueling. It was pretty back and forth, back and forth. During game 1, I had complete control, and he ripped the Raigeki when Dante Virgil attacked for game. I'm like, wow, must be nice. And then I looked at the life points, and then I was remembering what card I had in my hand. I had limit removal in my hand that turn, and then I did the life points. I found out that I could have won that game by limit removal, because I forgot that everything doubles, so he still takes damage. So yeah, I could have won game 1, but I just didn't do the math correctly. So during game 2, I had that thing in my mind the whole time, so I couldn't let it go. Like, oh my god, I could have won game 1, could have won game 1. I still managed to win game 2, but game 3 it was still in my mind. Like I just couldn't get out of my head, and then that cost me a misplay, and then from there I lost. I think also game 3 he also ripped Raigeki into BLS and he attacked for game. Or something like that. He sacked me both times. He won. When I lost, I was pretty sad. I was like, my voyage to top 32 is gone. My YCS champion crown is gone. No. I was pretty sad, but I was like, you know what? Play one more. Just one more. You know, whatever. So I played one more. It was another BA matchup, and actually next to me, I was playing a Star Strike Duelist. Shout out to her. So I played BA again. Game 1, he beat me. Game 2, I beat him. And game 3. It went back and forth, and then I just got the scout, and then it went off, and I ended up pulling the game. So I ended the day with 6-3, 18 points. I needed 19 points to go to day 2, but regardless, I would have made it, even if I had 19 points, because no X21s made it to to top 32. So that was my day 1 of YCS Anaheim. It was pretty fun because like all my friends from UCI came, all of our friends from LA came. We all did pretty well except for Jonathan, the Crimson Chin. So then that's how day 1 went. Also like Jonathan and them, they all slept at my house, so we drove back to my house. So Johnny and Leon made day 2, and then so we had all the house around 7 or 8 because I think the first round starts at 9. So we all left supporting them. So you watched Johnny and Leon's game until their last round, and then Johnny made it into top 32, and then Leon didn't. So after we saw Johnny made top 32, I was like, what am I gonna do now? There's nothing really to do. I was like, might as well just join a regional side event, so I get my invite early, and you know, don't have to worry about the regionals. Because our regionals is like 1,000 people, and it's really hard to top, because like it's impossible. Like SoCal is the best place to play. Like all the good players are here. You can't like it's not easy like a 300-man, 200-man regionals or like in the mid East Coast and wherever. So like LA, SoCal is really hard to get an invite. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll just play 1 or 2 and maybe hopefully get an invite early on. Also, the Ranger match pretty sick. So I went to go sign up to the regionals, and then when I got online, in front of me was Jonathan. I was like, dude, what are you doing here? He's like, I gotta redeem myself, Dennis. And I was like, okay, whatever. But in my head, I was like, wait, we're gonna be in the same regionals. Like, this is gonna suck. I don't want to play you if we have to play each other. It's like knocking your friend out. He's like, don't worry, just enter it. So we did end up in the same table, on the same flight. He was on bottom half of the bracket, and I was on top half of the bracket. So if we were to play each other, it wouldn't be until the finals. So that was pretty good. So at least I knew like, oh, we were both in the finals. At least one of us will get it. Oddly, he got knocked out round 1, so I didn't worry about that. So my round 1, I played a Qliphort mirror match was Dario. Game 1, he beat me. Game 2, game 3, I won. It was pretty easy. And it's pretty much whoever has the scout first wins. So it doesn't really matter. During round 2, I played Stellarknight. He lost in the bubble around 11, so he told me that right before I played. It's like, oh crap, this kid's probably really good. So the thing about regional flights, you can see everyone you're playing like next to you, so you can prepare yourself mentally for the next matchup. So I knew I was gonna play Stellarknights. That was also a 2-1. He did minor misplays here and there, like he soul charged and forgot that he couldn't attack, stuff like that. But you know, it happens. So we went 2-1. I moved to the next round. The next following round, I played Stellarknights again. It was a Stellarknight artifact build. I 2-1'd him. I kind of misplayed a little bit during game 2. I popped the ignition with the MST because usually just want MST so you get your plays off. So I popped the ignition, and then I knew that you couldn't attack, but I didn't know that you didn't have you have to enter battle phase because it says skip your next battle phase, but if you never enter it, then you can never skip it. I went end turn during the first one where I had to skip it, and then during my second turn I went enter battle phase, and he said, oh, you can't attack because you didn't say it the turn before, you just said end turn. I'm like, oh crap, alright, whatever. But somehow I still pull out to win that game. Game 3 I won to. I think he drew pretty dead, so that was pretty simple. Game 3. So then now we're in the round 4. This is the finals. I played against Qliphort mirror match. So game 1, he went scout first turn, and then I had the MST. So MST he had no follow up play. And I had my scout, so my scout went off more than his scouts went off. So I won that game pretty fast. And then game 2, he decided to go second. So I was like, oh shit! I sided in as if I was going second. If he has a Stormfort, he wins, whatever. You know, good for him. So I just went scout, search sacrifice, summon monsters, sacrifice, end turn. He went set 3 back row summon monster end, and then so I guess he didn't have it. Then I drew my turn, but I had it at the Stormfort. So I saved that until like a critical moment in the game, and then that's pretty much won me the game. I just broke his field down, like helix, carry everything, attack, and I won. Pretty nice guy. I asked him, oh, how many Stormforts you side in? He's like 7. So I was like, oh, kind of salty, but you know, it's a cool guy. Shook my hand. Usually, when a person loses and then they know they're gonna lose, they usually stick their hand out first. I consider like, oh, great sportsmanship, because you know, even though you know that you're gonna lose, you have the sportsmanship to stick your hand out first and shake the guy's hand. You know, good job, congratulations, you won the game. You know, I think that's really good sportsmanship, and that's what the game's about. You know, having a good time, even though you know you get sacked or whatever, the saltiness comes. But you know, in the end, it's just like it's a game, and it shows how true of a character you are. And you know, it's about the game. You know, it's a challenge. It's why I play. So yeah, so I went 4-0. I got the mat, I got the regional box, and then I got invite to nationals. You just sign a slip, and then yep, you go, and you're off. And then that was pretty much the whole event itself. This is a pretty long video. Thumbs up if you saw the whole thing. Comment down below that I saw the whole thing. I really appreciate you guys listening to me talking, rambling on about nothing. It was a really good weekend, I'd say. And you know, didn't top 32, but you know, got my invite to Nats. Don't have to worry about the next regionals. Actually, talking about regionals, I'll actually be at the LA regionals this December 20th. So if you guys see me there, bring your vanillas and your white dustins, and we'll trade and whatever. And yeah, if you guys want to get my signature, we'll probably sneak in some few games if we can. I really appreciate everything you guys done so far. Subscribe for more videos. Follow me on Facebook. I sometimes put like exclusive videos on there, and that's pretty much it. Later, YouTube. Bye. He got knocked out in like round 4. Like, it was so bad. He lost 3 in a row. Round 2, 3, 4. It was so bad. One of the games he drew Shadoll fusion, Shadoll fusion, Shadoll fusion, El Shadoll. And he was like, what's going on? So everyone made it pretty far except for him. I feel so bad for Jonathan. He had this joke that was like, Dennis, ask me how Fairy Wind was. And I go, oh, how was Fairy Wind? And he goes, I don't know. I never drew it. I never saw it. I don't know. You tell me how Fairy Wind did. You tell me. And I was like, oh shit, that's funny. Man, he had such a bad day. Oh, I don't know, man. I feel bad for that guy. Jonathan, man, I don't know what to say. This guy loses on the bubble and then loses like in a row because he has to redeem himself somehow.